run them likes up. I need about 10,000 likes on this video. I wasn't even recording for real. But what's up, Snort That Dude crew? It's yours truly, Snort That Dude. Right now, we're about to get into gangs of Chicago, O-Block versus Tookaville. Self-explanatory. You know, I've been trying to, involve different content as of it's not straight music videos. You know, I've been streaming too. Hey, live talent shows Wednesday and Sunday, 8 o'clock. Be there or be square. What's today? Yeah, be there or be square. 20 to skip the line. Some people like, bruh, I got an email. I'm not gonna say the email. You gotta come to the stream to get that email. It was a stream made email at that. But with all that being said, I got an email. Folks send their stuff to the email. They music, beats, whatever, videos. You know what I'm saying? And when I clicked, turned on the stream the other day, it started at 2,200 emails. By the time I got done, we had 4,000. Yeah, a lot of it was spam. I give it take half of it was spam. But you catching what I'm throwing. It's a lot of folks. So the 20 to skip. Honestly, I want to up it because I'm not really trying to make it about the bread. I'm really trying to see everybody that's sending their stuff in, and I'm not really trying to make it about the bread. The skip the line is like, you know what I'm saying? It's like a you serious about your shit type thing, you know? And it kind of weighs out the BS motherfucker a little bit. You know, you can send about anything to the email, and you know sometimes motherfucker might send some bullshit, whether it's some nudity, whatever. So that honestly, I want to probably up it to because like, bro, we got a lot of bro. I think we was streaming for like 30, 45 minutes. Then one came in. Then another one came in. The rest of the 2 hours that we was live was for, you know what I'm saying? And it ain't about the bread because whether your shit in the email or you sent the dub, I'm talking about your shit the same. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say what I say. You know what I'm saying? So it don't change nothing. It's just, you just skip the line. That's all. That's it. Let's get into this.
Chicago, we looked at how the Black Disciples and Gangster Disciples evolved over the decades since they were started in the late 60s, all the way up to the mid-2000s, where we saw the leadership of each gang begin to crumble.
We missed that one. We ain't checked that one out. Trap Lord Ross. I sent you a DM, my boy. Please answer.
Brief look at the 2004 crackdown on the Black Disciples that saw their then leader, Marvel Thompson, indicted and taken off the street along with 41 other senior BDs.
Y'all ain't peep his Tom? They say this man got 540 years. Let's do quick maths. Not years, months. Divide that by 12. He got 45 years. Why they ain't just... See, they be being petty. Why ain't just say that? I feel like saying the 540, though. All of it's fucked up. But seeing the 540, though, it might make your heart sink down a little bit. The 45 years would do the same, too. Honestly, bro. Fuck the jail. It's only two type of motherfuckers that really need to be in jail. And anybody else is like, you know what I'm saying? He kind of be out here a little bit. But these other the R word you can't say on YouTube videos. They gon' what's your name it? It's an algorithm thing. I'm gonna have to edit that out. And the CM, the child, you know what I'm saying? You can't talk about that. You know, hey, so if you know what I'm saying? I hope y'all able to fill in them blanks, because I'm sure editing that out. Yeah.
And we, of course, looked at how the city of Chicago ended up demolishing several of the large tenement buildings that were actually drug-dealing strongholds for both the Black Disciples and Gangster Disciples over this period. The demolition...
And it's so crazy, they built them. They was like, oh, y'all got to live here now. Then it's like, y'all like living here. Let's go ahead and tear that down. They did that to my city too. Apartments, not too far from here. They built them. They say, oh, y'all living here now. We was kicking it. We don't want y'all there no more.
Many of these gang-controlled blocks in Chicago left many younger members of both the GDs and BDs displaced, being forced to find new hoods and make new alliances to continue getting money in the street together. So today, we're going to take a closer look at two of the most well-known BD and GD sets that emerged after the demolition of those Chicago projects. In fact, we're going to be taking a look at possibly the most well-known BD set in history, O-Block. But the O wasn't always O-Block. Long before King Von and Chief Keef immortalized O-Block forever in their lyrics,
it was the Wick City.
BD-controlled Parkway Gardens blocks in Chicago used to go by the name Wick City.
Yeah.
Wick, W-I-C, standing for wild, insane, and crazy. But in this case, the Wick is stylized with
I knew that. I'm smart.
3 eyes, mainly due to the BD's affinity with the number 3. In fact, the story goes that many of the young black disciples based at Parkway Gardens were actually the descendants of BDs who had worked under Marvel Thompson in The Castle before the big bust in 2004. And if you didn't know, The Castle was actually a large drug dealing operation ran by the BDs in Chicago, back when the gang was much larger and had a much clearer and organized leadership. But by the time we get to the 2010s, the BDs in Wick City were much less organized, and essentially just an emerging BD set made up of displaced youngers with ties to that original operation. But as I've said on numerous videos on gang culture before, a lot of the reasons that gang emerge is for protection against other groups, so where there's a gang, there are usually ops. And in this case, Wick City's main opposition are a couple of gangster disciple sets located in adjacent blocks. One of these gangster disciple sets that is...
It's kind of scary how close them niggas actually is. Like, honestly, let's like, bro, I don't know if y'all, it's like, yeah, I got bored one time and Google Maps the area, but when I tell you them niggas are like 2 blocks away, it is like, honestly, like they got a corner store right there. STL do. At that corner store, nigga, you can see O-Block. Mind you, these boys got it out for each other. You know what I'm saying? It's low-key scary. Hey, what's that? What's that? Oh, my beard. And it's like, I ain't a big shook motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I ain't shook or nothing. But like, I don't crumbs. What's that, bro? Hey, look, crumbs in my beard. Hey, look, what? I ain't a big shook motherfucker, but it's like, all right, cause I'm just looking at it from the standpoint of my city. Usually, you know what I'm saying, my city, when somebody got a problem, well, it usually is they had a problem with somebody from the other side of town, not a motherfucker 2 blocks away. Cause a motherfucker 2 blocks away, that's more like some internal shit. That's some internal, you got a problem with motherfucker in your gang. Instead of, you know, so.
known to beef with Wick City.
And I don't know who else city is like that. I'm just speaking from the standpoint of my city.
Lawrence Boys, or STL, a crew that are based on 63rd and St. Lawrence Street. In fact, the location of this group is the exact reason why the likes of King Von are constantly dissing people from 63rd. And the STL GDs are also clicked up with another GD crew adjacent to them, known as EBT, who are located on 64th and South Eberhart Avenue.
Folks now shooting niggas in new assholes, let niggas be known STL EBT right here, man. Shout out to the game, man. Ain't no other shit. Free guys, man. You already know. Killer bear.
Hey, you know what's so sad about that video, bro? A lot of them niggas in the videos passed away, bro. That shit's, bro. I don't know this guy. I hope y'all see my mouse. I don't know him. But he passed away. Duck like right there to the to his side right there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that, bro, you go back and look at a lot of them Zach TV interviews and stuff. Bro. A lot of them folks in them Zach TV interviews, it has passed, bro. That shit is like, bro, what the fuck? Even Zach himself is not here no more, bro. You know, that shit blowing me like, bro, what the fuck? As I'm just sitting here chilling. Why these niggas are, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, what block I'm on, man? Man, you on EBT, man. This is right here, man. Gang. Right here, man.
STL and EBT are right next to each other and are often referred to collectively as STL EBT, and that territory in turn is right next to Parkway Gardens or Wick City. For the purpose of this video, until a major event happens that causes an area to change its name, I'll continue referring to it as its name at the time. So as we begin this story, there are two main sides, the Wick City BDs and the STL EBT GDs. And if you think that's a lot of letters to remember, just think how many gang signs these guys have to learn. Now, it's hard to find one cataclysmic event that has caused the enormous wave of beef between these two groups. What seems to be the reality is that some of this beef dates all the way back to
I don't know how
high
to
school
spell it,
days,
so I
when
can't
members from
Google
these
it.
opposing areas would get into schoolyard fights. However, these small local schoolyard beefs would
That's how I be learning
unfortunately
words and
escalate
shit.
into deadly violence when those involved became old enough to get guns, likely facilitated by older BDs and GDs from their respective areas, pushing age-old feuds that probably date all the way back to the Marvel Thompson days of the BDs, or perhaps even earlier. But the thing is, one mustn't forget that in a lot of these stories, the people involved are basically children, teenagers, with many of them tragically having their lives taken before they're even old enough to buy a beer. And it's this fact that really makes the events that unfolded over just a few years even more tragic. And before we get into it, I just want to say, I know there's a lot of overlap between different gang sets in Chicago, so I just want to make it clear that for the purpose of this video, we're only focusing on a specific set of events that are significant to the early formation of Wick City, later becoming O-Block. Who knows, in future videos I might branch out to other beefs involving other local gang sets that relate to O-Block like 600 or Lamron. But for the purpose of today's video, we're going to remain hyper-focused on Wick City and STL EBT, which will later become O-Block and Tookaville. And I know there's a lot of online scoreboards out there that claim to kind of keep track of many of the unverified supposed tit-for-tat shootings between these groups, and many sites like Chiracology and Reddit,
what?
many excellent.
What the fuck? So this was what's the dude that called himself the scorekeeper? This is what he did all day. Hey, I forgot his name, bro. I can't even make the joke funny no more. I forgot his name. But what the fuck? Look at this shit. Chief Keef shot and hit just stop. Brick shot at King Von. Chief Keef shot FBG at FBG. Like, how niggas know this? Big A shot at Billionaire Black. Like, how niggas know this shit? This shit, I don't think this shit facts. I don't think this shit facts. I feel like this shit low-key cap or something. Hey, anybody, a lot of y'all be knowing more than me, but can somebody confirm this shit right here? Because what the fuck is... This shit right here is egregious.
Keep track of many of the unverified supposed tit-for-tat
egregious
groups, and many sites like Chiracology on Reddit, or one of the many excellent YouTube channels that covers Chicago drill news, have covered and distributed a lot of unverified info about supposed crimes that may or may not have happened as part of this beef.
Man.
I'm not just going to regurgitate that info to you. Instead, we're just going to focus on the facts of the pivotal moments that made this beef escalate, taking you through the journey of how these young BD and GD sets escalated a feud to all-out gang war, and ultimately how as a result their block became the most deadly in America.
Who was
Now,
involved?
Parkway Gardens, where the Wick City BDs are located, was eventually named Chicago and America's most dangerous block. And this is mainly the result of a staggering amount of shootings that took place there between 2011 and 2014. And this is actually the exact window of time that we're going to take a look at in this video. And I'd say that it's pretty clear that Parkway Gardens' reputation for being dangerous is the direct result of the events that unfolded as part of this feud. And in no small part, a result of the involvement of some of the very dangerous individuals that inhabited these blocks during this period of time. Some of the names from the Wick City BD enforcers of the 2010s may be very familiar to you, especially if you've listened to popular Chicago drill music in recent years. Of course, the most famous names of all at this point are Chief Keef and King Von. Chief Keef is famously from Parkway Gardens and reps O-Block to the fullest, as well as fellow BD-affiliated set 300, which Chief Keef has shouted out endlessly. However, when it comes to gang violence, as far as we know, Chief Keef has no bodies. He might have a reputation on the streets and in his music for letting guns blast, but he doesn't claim to be a killer. Chief Keef always portrayed himself as more of a tough guy trapper, and ultimately the fact that he was able to focus more on the music than on the streets as his career developed might be the reason that he's still alive with us today. The same, of course, can't be said for King Von, a Parkway Gardens veteran who supposedly caught numerous bodies and didn't care who knew it. Of course, only recently half taken.
The thing is, the whole Von situation ain't had shit to do with anything that was going on in Chicago. Like, absolutely nothing. It was
over the rap game, releasing what often felt more like confessions than actual songs. But all the way back in the early 2010s, King Von had been repping his BD affiliation on social media to the fullest, holding down the blocks of Parkway and showing love to his gang for the entire world to see.
Yeah, bitch. Yeah.
Other big names in the Wick City BD set include feared supposed shooters like HK and J Money or J Munna. Then of course there's King Von's beloved BD bro T Roy, who is apparently a bit of a dynamic duo along with Von, with a close bond between these two becoming very relevant later in the story. And in fact, this is the exact reason why even right up until his death in 2020, King Von used to go by the name V-Roy on Twitter, and the fact that he comes from Wick City is why his Twitter handle still is @KingVon_from_the_Wick. Basically, King Von and T-Roy loved their gang and they loved their block, holding it down with other Wick City members like Big A, OD, Trey 5, Platoon, Boss Money, Sharoid, Duke, who's actually been mentioned in numerous King Von lyrics, Rah Rah, aka Breezy, and Boss Top, who also became a rapper like Keef, even actually going on to drop a song called Wick City, and even later falling out with Chief Keef after apparently stealing clothes from him, leading DJ Academics in the War of Chirac era to affectionately dub him the Diaper Bandit. And look, I know by no means is this a completely extensive list of...
Bruh. It's like, I want to say 5 or 6 of these niggas. I do not know. Like, I ain't... Oh no, I heard Lil J scream his name on a song one time. Who's put like you know what I'm saying?
Every member who has ever been affiliated with Wick City or O-Block, and especially as of recently, names like Muwop and Gleesh have become more relevant. For the purpose of today's story, this isn't an O-Block member lineup. It's just an initial introduction to the main events of the beef up until around 2014. But don't get it twisted, if we go into a future video covering further into this beef, I will of course introduce new names. But the names aren't really what's important, it's the sentiment. These were the Wick City BDs holding down their block and doing the most to fight their ops. The Wick City BDs were very well known for throwing up GDK hand signs repeatedly to show the world that they were GD killers who were very much indeed down to ride and kill.
GDK shit, man. Everybody got them voice in their hand, man. You feel me? GDK. Broke boys.
So, who were the GD boys that these guys wanted to K so badly? Well, over on the STL EBT side, they were up against a few names who you might know if you're well versed in Chicago drill culture. The first to come to mind is Jakira Barnes, also known as Key or KI, a young female hitter who was good friends with fellow member Tuka growing up. Another member was FBG Butter, who along with KI were also known as a bit of a dynamic duo dubbed the Twins. Other members actually went by FBG or Flyboy Gang, an STL EB clique more focused on making music, which included other names like FBG Brick, and of course the legendary FBG Duck. Another musically inclined member who repped FBG was Lil J, who lived in STL and would later become more clicked up with them, but mainly had beefs with 600 that kind of ran adjacent to this feud. They had Lil J
and all
and
pictures, he chose that Lil J
the
pictures.
There was Boss Trell and Lil Doc. Once again, there might be some names from STL EBT, especially the later years, who haven't been included here, but these are the prominent members of both sides who played a prominent role during this period. So now you know the background and the people involved, let's take a closer look at the actual storyline so we can get...
Alright, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and chop it right here, bruh. I ain't trying to have like a fucking long ass video, bruh. Ain't gonna lie, that call almost blew me, bro. Cause like, bro, don't call me, bro. You know what I do. You know what time I do it at. Why are you calling me? You had all day to call me. Anyway, I'll be right back with you.